Our next guest is Stephen Johnson, Editorial Director of Google Notebook LM and best-selling science author, and one of my and my family's oldest friends. So it's going to get a little bit personal here for me. When Stephen first started working on this project, Stephen, when was that? How long ago was that? July of 2022. It was more connected to, at least for me, my prior history as a writer. Like, what an amazing research tool to help you bring the greatest nuggets of research into your writing. But when I started to say it, I was like, Stephen, I'm now a curriculum developer and writer. And I was like, you have no idea how complicated it is to write a student-centered curriculum. This product is going to help curriculum developers and writers and teachers so much. And it is incredible that in this little amount of time, the explosive viral growth of Google Notebook LM in the last week or so is largely due to teachers and to students. My friend, Riti Saraf, has just written an outstanding newsletter about Google Notebook LM and Bloom's taxonomy, so I want her to widen the context a little bit. Thanks, Riti.
Sure. I started diving into Notebook LM a few months ago, but I really started using it just last week, and it is pretty mind-blowing. And the reason for that is, I think, some good things and potentially some pretty challenging obstacles that teachers are soon about to have, which is that what Google Notebook LM can do is it can actually break down the concepts that you're inputting into it. So, and I won't take away too much of your thunder, but it can actually, when you upload information and text into it, it can break down that information, and it can actually synthesize and analyze that information in a really deep way, so much more than what I've seen in other LLMs, so that it's actually doing a lot of the cognitive lifting for you, right? Now, that's really special and interesting and awesome that an AI can do that, but it also presents quite a few obstacles for teachers because, well, what kind of assignments are we going to assign our students if AI can do this sort of heavy lifting for us? So teachers are probably familiar with Bloom's taxonomy. For the students out here, Bloom's taxonomy is basically a way to evaluate assignments on how cognitively complex they are. So at the very bottom is remembering, how well can you remember information. Then you have understanding, how can you make meaning of that information. Then you have analyzing and applying and evaluating. And at the very top you have creating. Creating is the most cognitively heavy sort of activity that you can do. And as far as I can tell, Bloom's can actually do the analyzing and the applying for you really, really well. Obviously can do the remembering. The understanding and the evaluating, it's getting to it, but it's actually pretty convincing that it can. And so that presents us with a huge opportunity to change the way that we actually learn in school and the way that we actually do our assignments, but it also presents, as I said, an obstacle for us. How do we evolve education so that our students, that you guys, are actually going beyond just the synthesizing, but you're actually going to the creating part much faster? So that's a really exciting prospect, and let's hand it over and let's see the demo.
Yeah, and then we're going to do a little Q&A with you after.